was just a sense that this wasn't a good place to stay.
Chief Pfeiffer's priority was to set up a new command post and find his men. Right now, they were coming down the stairs.
At some point, I started to run. I don't even know if I was touching stairs on my way down. When I got about to 3 or 2 is when I started to think of my family, you know. So I got to get out of here.
When we reached the lobby, I joked about it. I said the command post was abandoned. The board was set up and nobody was there. I said, oh, this is not a good sign.
I knew there was nothing I could really do. I mean, I was not a fireman. I had absolutely no medical expertise at all. I was just a civilian. But as a cameraman, yeah, there was something I could do. And it was to document what was happening. So the cameraman took over and just filmed.
Gideon had made his way as close to the tower as he could.
Strange enough, the only thing that was my preoccupation was to clean my lens.
Jules was with Chief Pfeiffer, who was plotting his next move. The firefighters from my house had reached the lobby and scattered.
You know, kind of walking at this point. We knew we were out of the building, felt we were safe.
Unfortunately, there were people jumping out of windows. You could see them hitting the ground all around you, debris hitting the ground.
Get yourself accounted for with Chief Goring down at staging. Let's move. Come on, officers.
Basically, everybody was standing right in the shadow of Tower 1. It was 10:28 in the morning.
And this huge roar.
And I don't even have time to think at that point. I just run. Then I feel someone jumping on top of me, and then the dust.
At that point, I realized that I was going to die.
We need help.
And the only thing I could think about was Jules. And I remember telling myself that if I would survive that, I would be a better brother.
Let's go before the car blow up. This way.
And it's dead silence. It's nothing. No radio calls, no sound, nothing. And I feel the person who was on top of me get up.
Get out of here. You like me? Yeah.
And I recognize it's Chief Pfeiffer's voice. And I just realized it's just, you know, it jumped on top of me to protect me from all this.
Put those hands off. Everybody okay?
Chief officer say, okay, let's go now. And we get up. The dust starts to clear because the wind was blowing in the opposite direction.
After that, it was just trying to literally walk around the block and regroup and walk back to the scene and see what we could do.
Do you have some water, something to drink? Thanks.
Open your mouth, because I need the water too.
Thanks.
I had been in this street 3 times in the last hour. The first time, it was full of people. The second time, everybody was running away from it. And the third time, getting out of the last collapse, there was just nobody. And everything was white. Everything was covered by the dust.
Holy shit.
It was the most surreal scene I have ever seen. I cannot describe what took place.
It is a scene just not to be believed. The smoke's still billowing. What we do have is a lockdown. You can't get in, you can't get out, you can't go up, you can't go down.
I see that I'm still in the middle of the street, and I see there is a little deli. Seems to be open in the corner.
Yeah, we're getting on 2 now. Oh, okay. Guys.
A lot of people injured. Firefighters, bloody nose, things like that. And then it hits me, but now where is my brother?
Go back here.
I start realizing that I've probably lost my brother. So I try to go back to the World Trade Center. I need to go find my brother.
Where are the guys? I have no idea. I was with Chief 5 from.
And I'm in the middle of the street walking, and a cop approached me and says, you know, who are you with?
I'm with the chief of Battalion 1.
Oh, you're Battalion 1? You got ID?
Don't have ID. I have my letter of, from the commissioner.
Take your letter and your camera and get out of here. All right? Go.
So I go back up, walk north, not really knowing where I'm going.
Police department?
No, I'm making a documentary on the fire department.
Come on, this ain't fucking Disneyland. Let's go.
And after a while, I said, you know, there's nothing I can do here. I need to go back to the firehouse. Maybe they'll have some news, and maybe he's already back there. But at that point, I think he's dead. And it becomes too overwhelming.
Walking back to the firehouse, and not trying to think for 1 second about troops. That was too much.
Don't worry, honey. We'll stand.
Everyone's asking me, what happened? What happened? I said, I don't know. I said, hell. Hell is what happened.
It just came down, and it wasn't supposed to come down.
It's not easy being a survivor.
Little to little, the guys started to come back, one by one.
Can't explain why I'm here and there's so many dead. Very emotional. A lot of guys are crying.
So many thoughts and emotions and...
The way we lucked out, we were in one. Two fell first, and then they told us to get out. Two fell first? Two fell first.
I can't figure this out.
One didn't fall first. That's why they were getting us out.
We got to call our loved ones, tell them we were okay.
It was fucking sick. But we just got out. We had just got out. I got up 2 blocks, and I'm like, I'm still not far enough. I got a longest thing on my back.
So, you know, you just needed to be with the guys, you know.
I couldn't get back in. They wouldn't let me off.
I was never so glad to see firemen in my life. It was a great thing to know that people were surviving this.
I thought you guys were dead.
Not the only one. I thought I was dead.
No, it's rough,
That was the scariest thing when I came out.
I was like, oh my God, am I glad to see you.
We were the lucky ones.
I don't think it's luck. I mean, it's a miracle that we're here.
Miracle isn't a word you hear much from firefighters, especially not on that day. But what else could you call it? One guy after another was making it back. Safe.
Down here looking. I got thrown into 2 ambulances. We bolted, we ran.
I can't believe we all made it out. How did we make it out of that building? 30 seconds. Another 2 flights higher.
Again, the cameraman would just film them coming back and asking them if they had seen Jules. And nobody could answer this question. It was extremely frustrating and annoying. One guy from the firehouse came to me and I asked him, you know, have you seen Jules? I mean, do you know where he is? And he looked at me and he said, yes, he's behind you. And I turned over, and Jules was there in the firehouse. I didn't even see him coming in. And it was like meeting for the first time.
Quoi? Écoutez-moi, moi j'étais en vie, je savais pas si tu étais dans le camion, et je les voyais pas au début.
I asked Jules if he's all right. He tells me yes. He tells me that he was all that time in the lobby.
I tell him, I know now what it's like to think you're going to die. And then I tell him, I got the first plane and I filmed, and do you have enough tape?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Good to see you. All right, you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, close?
Under.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, good, all right.
And it definitely was a miracle, you know?
Oh, fuck, man. We're worried about you. You don't know what happened to you guys. Oh, God. Everybody's all right. Everybody's accounted for. Right here. You got everybody? Right here. Everybody's accounted for.
Everybody come back one by one to the firehouse.
You all right? What's up, Patty?
Except one.
Did you see Tony over there, Benetados?
Tony.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Here we were, all accounted for, except for Tony. Everybody was wondering about Tony. Is
there is not anything recognizable of what were the 2 trade towers, nothing standing out from those clouds of dust at this time.
building? Yeah. Put your head back now, gently. Yeah.
Oh, that day changed everything.
I think I got fibers in there. You got fibers in there.
When I came back that day to the firehouse, one firefighter came to me and he said, you know, yesterday you had one brother. Today you have 50.
Good to see you.
It's hard to even describe the emotions in the firehouse that day.
And it was just like, you heard the ground rumble, and it was just fucking debris was just chasing you. We were running, hauling ass. I mean, fucking.
On one hand, you're celebrating.
Very fightful day, man. Very happy to be here.
Somehow the guys from our house, they got out.
Come in the engine.
We lost so much in that 2-hour period.
You all right?
And we felt like we got the hell kicked out of us.
Shot, I don't know what to do, man. Go back down there or what? Fucking get shot.
At the same time, we knew hundreds of firefighters, thousands of people had to have died in those towers. And every hour that passed, we were more certain Tony Benetatos was one of them.
Hey, guys, Deputy Chief Hill called. 1st Division, he doesn't want anybody else down here right now.
Everybody was wondering about Tony. James just put his gear and went by himself to look for Tony.
I'd come in from home, and yeah, we were ordered to stay at the firehouse. But after 6 hours, somebody had to go and look for this kid.
It's gone, man.
17 down?
I got down there just as 7 World Trade finally collapsed.
Hey, Rick, they've been going live with you the whole time.
No sign of Tony anywhere. It had to be almost 6 o'clock. 9 hours after everything started.
Hey, Benetatos!
That Tony just walked in.
I walked in like a daze. And they were all like, hey, it's Benetatos, you're all right.
What's wrong with your hand? Anything? No. No? Yeah. You all right?
Yeah.
Chill out.
How you doing?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. What happened on your end?
I was in the building.
Were you? Is everyone from the house? Everyone? And I just asked, did everyone get back? And they were like, yeah. That felt pretty good. You motherfuckers, man. I was so sure you dudes were dead. I'm fucking digging through shit. And you fuckers are chilling here eating oranges? And I'm roaming around looking for you.
The last one that went out there came back, and we were all okay.
I left here right after the first collapse.
Turns out, Tony had been with Larry Burns the whole time, the probie and the retired chief. They were right there when Tower 1 came down.
I checked all the rigs. There were rigs crushed, paramedic trucks covered with rubble, flipped, fires burning everywhere, huge fires. That whole day, I just searched through rubble, lifting things up, checking underneath.
It was hard for him. It was very hard for him. He's only been a firefighter for, you know, a couple of months. But he proved himself that day to all the guys, yeah.
There was so much that we didn't know about that first day. Who had attacked us, how, why. All we knew is that nothing would ever be the same.
And then, of course, the images of the replay that never stops, of the planes hitting, the towers coming down. And it was like, okay, enough TV. Thankfully, the power went out about that time, so it was a relief.
This generator may be in the courtyard, and then we'll hook the lights into it. I got 2 more sets of lights coming.
The entire downtown Manhattan lose power. It was really this feeling that we're going to be there for a long time.
Just a short while ago, Mayor Giuliani held a news conference saying it's important not to lash out in anger because of the attacks on the World Trade Center.
Most of us stayed at the firehouse that night, trying to take it all in.
The roof of the Marriott, we were on the roof of the Marriott. There was parts all over the fucking place. Legs, feet. It was nasty.
You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. One of the things that sticks with me more than everything I saw is I sat down next to Ted. He looked real bad. I said, Tony, man, it was raining bodies. The way he said it, man, the man had been through hell.
Good evening. Today, our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom came under attack in a series of deliberate and deadly terrorist acts.
It's a very depressed, dismal, miserable mood. Hundreds of your firemen, thousands of civilians are gone. As quickly as you blow out a match, they're gone. Flip a switch, they're gone. That's it. These buildings came down. Gone.
See them? It's hard to believe they're not there. They're not there.
This was my first reaction.
They're gone.
There is no more World Trade Center.
No. It did happen, right? It's not something that I'm going to close my eyes and open them again and I'm going to see the tower, right? It's not there. You know, and the only thing you have, really, and the only thing that really kept it all together was us as a group, as a body, as a firehouse.
Around midnight, we sent Tony up to lower the flag to half-mast. Again.
There's going to be a lot of pain to deal with in the future. I have a pretty good friend who was in my academy class in my squad, who's among the missing. A lot of guys, we all lost friends and family.
I don't want to ever have to put that thing at half-mast again for the rest of my career. That's it.
Until the recall ends, it's 24 on, 24 off, 24 on, 24 off.
We got word that we'd start digging in the morning. Some of the guys with wives and kids went home, just for a few hours. They knew it might be days before they'd see their families again.
And the kids came out, and we just kind of all cried in one big hug. And it was, we just cried.
probably the best entrance I ever made to a place.
And I got home about 2 o'clock in the morning, hopped in the jacuzzi with my wife. But that's another story.
We'll start below line. Okay, climb up there. Keep the 3.5 in the middle so we can...
Came back to the firehouse the next day. I couldn't wait to get back, actually, because I wanted to get down there. I figured, well, we're going to have plenty of people that are going to be trapped, for sure. We're going to get them out. We always do.
I don't know if anyone's really pulled themselves together.
Focus on what you're doing today. It'll be time enough in a couple of weeks to really take in what happened to our guys. But today, you must focus on what you're doing.
Go in teams of 2. One guy falls through a hole, you're gonna have a guy there that knows you fell in that hole. Let's take a ride.
We're all alive. That's more than we could have possibly hoped for. So our job now is to go and do whatever needs to be done, and do it as much and as hard as we can for as long as they'll let us.
Some of the guys took a city bus down to what the media was already calling Ground Zero.
You guys got extra surgical gloves? You guys didn't put them in your pockets.
Some firemen called it the pile. For us, it was still the trade center, even if it was gone.
Hey guys, if you hear 3 horns, that means something might be coming down. So keep your eyes open when you're walking around down there.
And I just realized something that I always wanted to deny is how evil can be.
I need 5 firefighters, 19 and 12.
And we went down there and formed up companies, 5-man and an officer. We went to work right away, trying to look for survivors.
Try to get some buckets back here. Buckets!
Guys were digging fast, passing those buckets quick. Digging frantically.
Bucket! Bucket! Hey, watch your back, guys.
We'd be digging, and all of a sudden, everybody would say, quiet. And the whole place would get quiet, and people would look.
And then slowly they would go back to work and start again. And that's how things went down there.
I remember the first time I went there was like, you know, gateway to hell.
Technically, Jules and Gideon shouldn't have been anywhere near that site. It was dangerous enough for us firefighters. Every step you took, you could fall 30, 40 feet into a void. Jules and Gideon said they had to be there, but not to film.
We would only take the camera and film for a few minutes. In fact, we forced ourselves to take the camera down because we just wanted to go there and help.
We'd clear what we could by hand. Then the iron workers would come in, cut the steel beams, and lift them out. Then we'd just start digging again.
You have 2 110-story office buildings. You don't find a desk. You don't find a chair. You don't find a telephone, a computer. The biggest piece of a telephone I found was half of the keypad, and it was about this big. The building collapsed to dust. How are we supposed to find anybody in this that there's nothing left of the building?
You find a little spot, and you just keep going and digging and trying to find something. And you find a foot, and then they said the building's gonna collapse, and you run away.
Go, go, go! Okay.
And then we would go back and mostly just dug. We found a body. It was a girl. She was dead. She was definitely dead. All her clothes had been burned off her. She looked to be pregnant. Some people thought maybe she was just bloated, but I don't think so. She was encased in rubble. And we had her about halfway uncovered. We had getting the body bag ready, and then they told us to run. And we ran. So I never got to see if they got her out. Or would have felt good saying, all right, at least I got one person out. One family will be able to have a decent funeral.
Our first shift was 24 hours. And in all that time, there was one person pulled out alive. One. It was beyond discouraging. It was even hard to understand. It was weird in a way. Walking back to the firehouse, people were cheering us, but we sure didn't feel like heroes.
Every day, total strangers were showing up with supplies.
Somebody said that if you could still use towels, so
Okay.
that's the end of the towels.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
much.
They opened up the doors, and lo and behold, deliveries were coming by the ton.
Kitchen? Or just go right around the corner, just dump them on the floor.
You can't eat all the cookies they're giving you.
No. I know it's early in the operation here, but I just wanted to thank everyone for all the hard work that they've been doing. How we're here, only God knows. But again, guys, thank you so much. I really, you have no idea how much love I have.
Check the lockers, bro. Check the lockers, all the lockers, take whatever.
It's something special, you know, when guys are relentless and just going back and forth. Guys with nails in their hand, taping it up, gashes, blood everywhere, just taping it up and saying, let's go back, let's see what we can do to make this situation a little better. There's got to be people down there still alive. There has to be.
Listen, we try to keep hope. And we look everywhere. We even crawl down into the stores and the subway tunnels underneath the site. But as days turned into weeks, you began to accept. There just wasn't anybody to find. But we never stopped looking.
Hey, Chief. Yes, sir. We got another body over here.
Firemen deal with ugly things every day. It's part of the job. But this was worse.
You have that body back?
Day after day, it pushed guys to their limit, maybe past it.
A lot of guys don't know if they're going to do the job anymore. I know it's either this or the Army now. And I like saving lives. I don't like taking them. But after what I saw, if my country decides to send me to go kill, I'll do it now.
Every night around dinner time, the fire department would put out a list of firefighters confirmed dead. And every night, that list got longer.
It is with regret that the department announces the deaths of the following members. Battalion Chief John P. Williamson. Firefighter William Henry. Firefighter Eric T. Allen. Firefighter Manuel Mojica. Firefighter Lawrence J. Virgilio. Firefighter Timothy Haskell. Firefighter Thomas P. Hannafin. Firefighter John A. Ventura. Firefighter Sean N.
We lost so many people that everybody has lost dear friends, and not just one or two, but dozens.
Most days there was a memorial service for some guy you knew. Some days 2 or 3, some days 4. One of those services was for Kevin Pfeiffer, the chief's brother. He was last seen in the stairs of Tower 1, directing guys to the fastest way out of the building.
I would say that Chief Pfeiffer's brother saved my life. Saved a lot of lives.
And I remember walking down West Street and just remembering saying, you know, how much my brother and I used to love being downtown and doing this job. and how now I didn't love it anymore.
A few weeks passed, and we got new rigs. Well, used rigs, to replace Engine 7 and Ladder 1. They're still buried in there somewhere, under the pile. Eventually, we started going on runs again.
Feels good, though.
Playing pranks again, and trying our best to love the job again. But things will never be the way they were.
Every now and then still wonder, is it really true, you know? I know it happened, but I don't know. How do you deal with something like this? It's the 11th every day for me when I wake up. So did you want the new tape?
As for Jules and Gideon, it's strange how things work out. In the beginning, they came to me and they said, let's make a documentary about a boy becoming a man during his 9-month probationary period. Turns out Tony became a man in about 9 hours, trying to help out on 9/11. You know how you can tell that? He's not bragging about it.
It said to build. We were the only ones on the ticket. It said to build in 75.
Do I feel like it's given me more of a sense of self-worth? Yes. Has it made me a man? No. What's a man? You know, I'll still watch cartoons and do my stupid things. I'm just a person who tries to do good, just like every other person in the fire department.
For the fire department, now it's about rebuilding. Somehow. At our firehouse, we've already got new probies to break in.
You get one chance to make a first impression.
2 guys fresh out of the academy. It's strange to think they'll never know what it was like to be a New York City fireman before September 11th. And they'll never really understand what we lost that day.
All we can do is tell them the stories and show them the tape.
Bricks and steel are one thing, but human lives, you can't calculate that. Nearly 3,000 people died here on 9/11. Nearly 200 more at the Pentagon. Still more in the plane that crashed that day in Pennsylvania. You can add it up, but numbers don't do justice to what was really lost. Fathers and sons, wives, mothers and daughters. A lot of us watch stories like the one you've seen tonight and wonder what we can do. A scholarship fund has been set up to help the families of all New York firefighters. In a moment, we'll tell you how you can help. There are many people still working here at Ground Zero. It's now hallowed ground. So every day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, the work goes on in the hope that it'll give the families of those who were lost some peace. People have asked us why we wanted to show this material. Part of it was history, but the other part is personal. The men who shot this material wanted the world to see this moment in history as they saw it. Not a moment of terror, but one of strength. When good men did great things, tens of thousands were saved by simple acts of courage. We hope that will be the true legacy of the men from Engine 7, Ladder 1. It's the legacy of all those who are on duty tonight, and every night, men and women waiting for a chance to answer the call, in tribute to all those who lost their lives on 9/11. I'm Robert De Niro. Good night.
Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside. The summer's gone and all the flowers are dying. 'Tis you must go, and I must bide. But come you back when summer's in the meadow, or when the valley's hushed and white with snow. 'Tis I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, I love you so.
They laid down their lives for strangers. They were inspired by their sense of duty and their love for humanity.
They did not live to know who had caused the destruction or why. They only knew their duty, and that was to go in, to follow the faintest cry, to search for the trapped and helpless, and to save those who could be saved.
And when you come, and all the flowers are dying, and I am dead, as dead I well may be, you'll come and find the place where I am lying, and kneel and say, an Ave there for me, and I shall hear the soft you thread above me, and on my grave will warmer, sweeter be. For you will bend and tell me that you love me, and I shall soon